back to episode, say 29. I feel like we're close
It
to
is
30.
actually 29.
Is
I
it
counted.
actually?
Mm-hmm.
Good sense of time.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I did say that last week. We did already talk about what we're going into this week. We'll be going over the next couple weeks maybe. Then maybe in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll see how we go. But yeah, long story short, we're going through the book of James. A lot of interesting stuff in there. We're also going through it here in our regular sermons here at church. So, yeah, very fitting.
Mm-hmm.
So, have any opening? As I say, really, not really much to kind of describe. Not really an overarching theme. Kind of like how we did before, just going in verse by verse, like how we do with Romans. Kind of just going in verse by verse, seeing what we find, talking about it, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go? I never compared this. How do your sections work? Because I know ours are always different.
I've got 2 through 8.
See,
It's one chunk.
See, I got 2 through 17. No, 2 through 18.
18 ends here for me. I've got 3 different chunks. Faith and wisdom is the first. Poverty and riches and trial and temptation.
Mine starts with trial and temptations, listening and doing.
That's funny. I have hearing and doing as 19 through...
That's mine. 19, yeah, it starts at 19 for me, too.
Huh. I don't know. That's funny.
Huh.
We can go chunk by chunk off of this if you want, since it's small.
I'm kind of curious, how many verses is yours? Yours is 4 chapters, right? I'm making sure mine doesn't have anything to say. Yeah.
I got 5.
Oh, no, I have 5, too. Never mind.
I was about to say, I got the premium version.
Yeah. That's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can start, we'll just go little chunk by chunk in yours. I'll be easy to do in kind of little bite-sized pieces. And yeah, we'll do that.
So the first one, faith and wisdom. My brothers and sisters, whenever you face various trials, consider it all joy, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance complete its work, so that you may be complete and whole, lacking in nothing. If any of you is lacking in wisdom, ask God, who gives to all generously and ungrudgingly, and it will be given to you. But ask in faith, never doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For the doubter, being double-minded and unstable in every way, must not expect to receive anything from the Lord.
Yours goes to what verse? What again?
That would be 2 through 8.
2 through 8. I still find that weird. That I don't know just how drastically they're split up into chunks. Cause mine's.
I like it though, because
Yeah.
I have a hard time with like huge chunks.
I don't mind it, but yeah, I'm kind of going in. Yeah. Anyways, kind of going into that, I would say thoughts from that kind of goes to like the things that we were talking about this morning, and we'll kind of get a little further into like the ideas of. Thought I had a sneeze. We'll get a little further as we kind of go further into this first chapter, kind of like how, like trials and temptations, because it really kind of doesn't really get into that, kind of like the end of that little section. That's mainly what we talked about this morning in the sermon, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's fading in and out, so you take over.
Let's see. There was one thing I wanted to say. Oh, verse 4 was really sticking out to me. It says, and let endurance complete its work, so that you may be complete and whole, lacking in nothing. And I think it was just the wording of let endurance complete its work.
See, mine's different. Mine says, let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything.
Perseverance and endurance.
So it's, and then also, yeah.
That's interesting. Let's see if this says anything about that.
I guess going along those lines, kind of like how we've talked about it many times before, kind of like when you're like very new to the faith, you kind of feel like you're walking on air, floating with the clouds, and that I don't know, like nothing can go wrong, everything's going good. But then like you kind of still get drugged down by the weight of the world at times, and then it's conquering those temptations, the weight of the world on you, that kind of grows you in character and allows you to grow more into your faith and your relationship with God.
Yeah. I feel like I had something else to say. No, I can't remember.
You're looking at that, seeing if it said anything.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. There was nothing.
Oh.
I wanted to see if it had a breakdown of, like, that specific word, like why they chose that word, but they didn't have one. But I don't know. I think it's just, we all have to go through the trials and the testing and things like that
Yeah.
to be whole and lacking in nothing.
Yeah.
It's like there's a verse later on in the book of James talking about, I guess just like being equipped. Like you
Yeah.
have to. It's a good thing to suffer and to go through things because that's what's ultimately giving you what you need.
Mm-hmm. Embrace the suck.
Yes, exactly. Don't let it get to you.
Been learning that one in another way.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't have a whole much in that. I mean, the wisdom bit was interesting. I know we talked about that verse and specifically long time ago. Kind of in our original wisdom episode. I think we were recording on Instagram at that point.
We were. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this one reminds me of the verse that's talking about the man who built his house on the sand versus the man who built his house on the rock, which I know we talked about years and years ago.
A long time ago.
But, when you have doubt, you're lacking in your faith. And when you are lacking in your faith, you're not anchored down to anything. Therefore, you will be tossed about by the wind, like it says.
Yeah.
Like kind of like what we talked about last week, like when you don't live for something.
Yeah. You're kind of going through life aimlessly.
Right, exactly.
Like a ship without a rudder.
Yeah. You're just blowing wherever the wind and the world tell you to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's continue on with the rest of that. So starting at verse 9, and that your other sections from verse 9 to what?
11.
11, that is weird. Okay.
Yep. Let the brother or sister of humble means boast in having a high position, and the rich in having been humbled, because the rich will disappear like a flower in the field. For the sun rises with its scorching heat and withers the field. Its flower falls and its beauty perishes. It is the same way with the rich. In the midst of a busy life, they will wither away.
See, mine's worded completely different. Like, it's still like the same thing, but it's just worded very differently.
That's funny.
I think yours is definitely more of a modern translation. I think.
Yeah, probably.
Mine's a little more, not broken English, but
It's more like the traditional.
it's kind of riding that fine line between King James and modern translations.
Yeah, and that confuses me. I gotta have mine be like one.
See, and when it's like that, it kind of confuses me because I'm used to kind of reading it like this, which is the thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
weird
We just
'cause-
get used to translations.
Yeah. We need to do that again. I think we touched on it once. I know I already said it once before, but that might be an important thing to
That would be cool.
touch on one point, kind of ins and outs of translations, because there's some that I know there are some you should veer away from,
Yeah,
and some that are good and reliable.
I wouldn't say there's one that's right, but there are definitely a lot of the newer ones are like so watered down.
There's quite a few that kind of perverse some scripture.
Yeah, they miss the point.
Really, yeah, they miss the point, or they're really thrown off by translations, or like even the simplest one by example would be the Ten Commandments, but that one's been pretty much rectified
Yeah.
at the point for the difference between killing and murder.
True.
When it's murder, not kill.
True.
But yeah. But anyway, sorry. Back on topic.
Let's see. Let me read this blurb real quick.
I know, I had to go over it. Sorry. Went on a little tangent, but That's what we're here for.
Hmm.
Oh.
And now I gotta reread refresh.
Oh no. I'll read over it again in mine.
Yeah.
Believers in humble circumstances ought to take pride in their high positions, but the rich should take pride in their humiliation. I can't talk. Since they will pass away like a wild flower, for the sun rises with scorching heat and withers with the plant. It blossoms, falls. Its beauty is destroyed. In the same way, the rich will fade away, but even while they go about their business. So that's kind of more going along the lines of kind of like how like don't be too attached to what's here on Earth. At least that's what I get out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Everything on this planet is temporary.
Yeah. It's like everything in life too.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like not even like physical things that we can grasp, but kind of like chasing after certain things. When we pass away, those things will not exist.
Right.
Like those who are addicted to drugs, like that will not exist in heaven or in hell.
Right. That is true.
I never heard talk of wine in heaven either. I don't think I've ever.
That's an interesting point.
I know it might be. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think if I haven't heard any. Maybe some look in Revelations.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard any mention of wine ever in heaven.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was there.
Yeah, it may not be though. I don't think, I've never heard any reference to wine in heaven.
No, but I mean, wasn't the first miracle that was the wine miracle?
Yeah, that was turning water into wine was the first public miracle. Well, yeah. Was the first public miracle.
Maybe that qualifies it as.
Maybe. I'm not sure. Not that we need wine in heaven or anything like that.
No, you wouldn't need it, but.
Yeah. No, but it's just, I don't think it's ever been mentioned. I know there's food. I've heard food mentioned in heaven. Like, I've heard like a great. Am I mistaking something? I feel like I have heard at least something of food in heaven, I think.
Probably. But I don't know, because. Wouldn't you think in heaven, like.
You wouldn't need to eat.
Yeah, because all your needs are already met.
I'm sorry, we're going on a little tangent. Now I have a question.
No, I'd never thought about that, but that's very fascinating.
It says widely believed that there will be food to eat in heaven.
Okay.
You don't really need it.
Yeah, you don't need it, but I feel like I may be mistaken, but I've could have sworn I've heard at least of something mentioning a great feast at some point.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
The great banquet.
Yes.
Called the marriage supper of the Lamb.
Yeah, I've heard that before, but that could also be kind of not a physical banquet, but kind of like a. Yeah, I've heard that before in Revelation. So it could be, again with Revelations, it's kind of like
What?
deciphering what's actually kind of like real or what's kind of like a metaphor for something else. So that could be along the lines of a metaphor
True.
or something.
Could be.
So yeah. Oh no, interesting. But yeah. Another tangent, but that one was interesting.
That was fascinating. I've never thought about that. Move on to the next chunk.
Yeah, I think we kind of made it clear. And that kind of, don't be attached to like things on earth, because I mean, it'll either bring you further away from God, and in the end, it won't be worth it. Kind of like how we were talking about last week too. It really ties into. I know we talked a little bit about these last two lessons kind of connecting a little bit, but yeah.
And I don't know if this is going to make sense or not, but I just thought about this.
Mm.
So it says, let me see. Where'd it go? The sun rises with its scorching heat and withers the field. Just thinking about like the sun will always rise. Like that's a constant. The sun being a constant and what it does being a constant, but the things on the earth not being a constant.
Oh yeah.
Kind of speaking to like what happens on this planet.
Yeah, no, that's a good comparison. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But yeah, kind of how, one thing will always be constant, and then, things on here will wither and fade away.
That's right.
That's good.
Yay. All right. Whew. I'm going to read the first half of this chunk because this one's split into two. So this is 12 through 15.
Again, mine's 12 through 18.
That's weird.
Well, mine's 2 to 18 in total, but yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know. Just weird. But I don't know. Blessed is anyone who endures temptation. Such a one has stood the test and will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. No one, when tempted, should say, I'm being tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself tempts no one. But one is tempted by one's own desire, being lured and enticed by it. Then, when desire has conceived, it engenders sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, gives birth to death.
Now this one, I know we touched on this one heavily a long time ago. It was actually I think it was our most viewed episode on Instagram. Our temptation episode.
Yeah, I think
that
you're
one
right.
did really good. So I mean, I don't know if we have anybody there. It would be nice if y'all commented every now and then and let us know. Did you come from Instagram? Have you come to visit us from there, or are you new? But I remember we went heavy. Especially this was probably one of the most verses that we went into. It was probably this whole chapter we went into, at least half of the chapter, at least into that temptation episode. But
Yeah.
I digress, but still, to the point, kind of going along the lines of like, God does not tempt you.
Yeah.
Like Satan rules this world, like he rules it. As I mean, the Bible says that itself, that like Satan for now is kind of like the king of this world. He's allowed to flourish and thrive, and he's allowed to kind of try and drive us away to his best attempts from God because of the garden. I mean, that's what in the beginning led way to Satan being in this world, but God does not tempt, Satan tempts.
Yeah.
Kind of going along the lines of like, in the sense was actually what I was thinking. I was thinking about this morning, because this is kind of the verse we went through this morning was 12 through, I don't know if we went all the way to 19, but.
I think we stopped at about 15. 16.
Yeah, that's right, 16. Yeah, but I thought about this morning, but in the sense like we are all Job, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because like Job, God's most faithful servant, and basically Satan made a bet with God, saying like, who's the one who's most loyal to you? I bet I can make him turn against you. And I was like, okay, well here's my guy Job. I mean, he's loyal, he's honored me all his life, he always does good by me, does good by others. Sure, go at him, you just can't kill him or harm him, but other than that, have at it.
Mm-hmm.
And Satan tempts him, and he, to his best efforts, tries to drive Job away. And Job does come close at many times, but he always kind of, in his anger with God, always kind of like still submits to him.
Right.
Like we go out, like if you go through the book of Job, there's many times kind of these little monologues of him yelling out to God, but he never curses God or anything. If anything, he's cursing himself. Like at one point, he's like, curse the day that I was born and stuff like that, saying like he shouldn't have been born, but like he never verbally curses God. And then eventually, when basically God proved Satan wrong, saying that, hey, you can't turn him against me, and we go through this bit of like God showing Job the vastness of the creation. I mean, there's theologians kind of say that Job was able to see galaxies, things that we'll never be able, well, one day we may be able to see with our own eye. I always wonder about that, kind of asking, will we be able to, like, can we, like, ask God, like, hey, I want to see this thing, can you open, like, a little book or like that, can I see a picture, like, what does the vastness of the universe look like?
I read a book about that in middle school, and it was really interesting. I mean, it was a fantasy book, but it was it was like a cool thought.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I want to talk about that more because it still really interests me, but let me get to the end of this point. But going along the lines of but in the end, I kind of lost myself a bit. I'm stuck on that thought because it's something that I've always wanted to know or stuff like that, things I've thought about.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you have any thoughts?
I think just, going back to the first bit, blessed is anyone who endures temptation. There's like a very generic Instagram quote or something like that, and it's just talking about, I can't remember exactly what it says, but basically, the devil wouldn't go after you if you weren't a threat.
Yeah.
Like
I've heard that before. I think we talked about that once.
we
actually.
might have. I can't
We
remember.
went over that before. Maybe actually may have been in that temptation. Yeah, it was in the temptation.
It probably was,
It
yeah.
was in the temptation episode. Same
That
like-
checks out.
Yeah.
If you weren't, if Satan had already won,
Yeah.
he'd be leaving you alone.
In the sense of how we get tempted, like Satan doesn't tempt non-believers. They're already kind of going against God with them knowing it or not.
Right.
They're already living a life of sin. Doesn't mean they're all living terrible lives, like how we talked about last week. Like sadly, there's still like good people that will go to hell. They've probably done questionable things in life, or things that may have been not the most pure, and they didn't have faith in God, or they rejected God.
Yeah.
Basically seeing themselves as their own God. Like there's like many people who say like, well, why do I need a God to be good? Like I can just serve myself and then also still do good deeds. Like yes, it's good to do things like that, but it's still not right, because you still may do things like you may be fornicating, or you may be doing this or that, and so on and so forth. But I'm getting lost. Food comes kicking in a little bit.
Oh,
Blah,
no.
blah, blah.
Well, I mean, if sin is separation from God,
Yeah,
then
but I remember where I was going. But like so whew, get it out. It's a cloud in my head.
I know. I'm getting sleepy.
Today's been a day. I slept too hard. I was sleeping hard last night, and kind of woke up and like struggling to get out of bed.
Yes. It's the worst.
It was one of those ones where like I don't want to get up. I know I probably shouldn't be missing church, but I don't want to get up. If I close my eyes, I could probably sleep until 12. One of those ones.
Yes, it was that kind of day.
Those ones are rough. But still, back on topic, Satan doesn't have to worry about the ones who are not believing in God. They're already, in that sense, they've already chosen their fate, sad as that may be. But if you're going against Satan, you're living your life with Christ, with God, then Satan sees you as a threat, and then he'll start throwing things to other people. They've already been dragged down maybe by something that they're attached to.
Yeah.
Satan doesn't have to worry about them. But once you start going with God and living right by him, then the Satan sees you as a threat, kind of trying to pull you away at
Right.
some things.
Exactly.
Yeah. But back on my one little tangent, I always wanted to see like how like when we go to heaven, like will we be able to see like I guess maybe not. Because maybe depending on when certain things happen, like if we die before kind of all the stuff in Revelation, will we be able to see kind of like the universe and things like that? Like say like, hey, I want to check this thing out. Or just see the vastness, because we do know that there are other galaxies and whatnot. Like I find that stuff fascinating. But I always find it curious if we'll be able to see that, or kind of like go through like the thing that Job went through with like seeing the cosmos and all these other things, know how things really work and things really are.
I've always just pictured it like, in New York City, how they have like on the edge of some buildings that you can walk out to, like those big,
Like
it's almost like the
floors.
telescope. No, it's like the big telescope things, and you like put your eyes up to it.
Oh, the things like you drop a quarter in.
Yes, those. I always kind of pictured it like that, like,
I always thought of it like a big library.
Oh,
That's how I always thought of it.
that is neat.
Like a big library and like the book, but it's like when you open the book, it's not words, it's like an image that are moving and whatnot. I don't know, that's kind of like an idea that I had in my head.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Still.
Interesting.
Interesting. Well, I don't know. We'll find out one day.
Yeah, that's true. We'll try and report back, but it might be kind of hard.
I'll tell you when you get there, just be like,
Yeah.
hey, go check this thing out. Go ask, get in touch with Angel.
Yeah.
So and so, he'll hook you up.
Exactly. That is true.
Yeah. All right, I guess finish off this a little bit. So,
I'm taking up the brownies.
banana bread.
Yay!
Banana bread brownies. Yeah, so
16, is it 16 through 18? Is that what it is?
I thought you stopped at 13 or something. I thought you stopped at 12.
I started at 12.
Oh, you started at 12. I guess wherever whatever
right.
that your last section is, yeah.
Do not be deceived, my beloved brothers and sisters. Every generous act of giving with every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. In fulfillment of his own purpose, he gave birth to us by the word of truth so that we would become a kind of first fruits of his creatures.
So that kind of makes sense why mine's. I see how that connects to the last thing, so I guess in a way I see why mine aren't split into chunks.
Yeah.
But kind of going along the lines of like saying like how like God is the bring gift of good things to us. Like he's not there to put us in bad places. If anything,
Yeah.
we put ourselves there, or the enemy tries and puts us there. But if we rely on God, he pulls us out of it and brings us to something greater because of it, through us enduring our trials and temptations.
Exactly.
Yeah. And typically in the sense of that, like how usually we talked about it before, was it last week or it was either last week or 2 weeks ago? I think we talked about like how, I think I may have mentioned it last week. I don't think we were exactly talking about it, but like how the enemy will try and perverse things that originate from good things.
Yeah.
Like how marriage, enemy will perverse that to being adulterous, or to wine, being to drink, being drunkenness, or to food, gluttony, and things along that nature.
And kind of, I think it was the same time we talked about, like your greatest struggle is tied to your biggest calling type idea.
Yeah, I remember seeing an Instagram post about that once.
Yeah. I fully believe that.
Which is very, because I mean, the enemy doesn't know the full picture. Like, he knows things about you, but he doesn't know the full picture. He doesn't know the full story.
Right. But if he can pervert what he can.
And drag you away from what God's calling you to be.
Right.
Or do.
Very true.
Yeah.
But
That's kind of what I got from that.
it's also kind of, I think, important to remember, like, you know, sometimes when you fall into certain things that you know are not right for you and they're fun, they're enjoyable, whatever you think that they're rewarding, even though you may get that temporary, like, high from it, it's not from God.
So the enemy is a good deceiver. Like, there's many things where, like, it doesn't seem so bad at first, but to a certain extent or to a certain point, I say Soiten. I don't know why, that almost came out. Soiten. Soitenly.
It was all that ham you ate.
It was the ham.
You're talking
a lot
like
of
Porky
sodium.
Pig.
That's what it is. It's sodium.
That could be it.
That might be it. Is the sodium?
Yeah. Might have to have another Capri Sun.
Get a Gatorade.
Yeah.
But going along the line, back to topic. How like the enemy he's a great deceiver, and like some things may not seem. That's how he gets you. It's like, oh, this isn't bad. Like this isn't like. I don't even see it like how this could be against God, and then you go further and further into it, and you drag into things you didn't think you'd be doing, and so on and so forth, and then it becomes something that's abhorrent to God.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Listen, you've been quiet. Have you had any thoughts about this whole thing?
Don't let anything separate you from God.
Yeah. I know yours is, where's your listening and doing? Is that before chapter 2?
I've got hearing and doing the word is 19 through the end of this chapter.
That's what 19 through 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can finish this off real quick just so we can finish chapter 1. So, my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent and humbly accepted in the world planted in you, which can save you. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep the tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and the religion is worthless. Religion that our God, our Father, accepts as pure, faultless, is this: to look at orphans, widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Now that is very powerful,
Yeah.
especially in today's standards, where kind of like internet gives us access to being angry in comment sections and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And on Twitter/X, which I don't think I've ever tweeted or replied to anything on Twitter, or even really browsed Twitter. I don't know. I know some people are all over it, but
Yeah, some people live for it. But
some people live for Twitter. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think
It's pretty funny.
I have seen screenshots. I know there's like the Twitter, like I know like one thing that came up that was actually interesting that almost like made me get on X and look at it was those like the English, the Chinese translations, and now Japanese and Americans have now found out how much we have in common. Like Japanese love American culture.
fascinating.
They love American culture. Like I've seen
funny.
like there's this one place in Japan where you step in, looks like you're somewhere down south, and they sing bluegrass.
That's wild.
And they're pretty good at it too.
I had
Like
no
those
idea.
guys shred on the banjo.
Man.
But kind of like like basically like Elon Musk did this thing where basically like whatever Japanese we're looking at would get translated to Japanese, and we would see stuff in English from them. So it was basically Japanese and Americans bonding over like all the same things.
That's funny.
Kind of like things that we like about each other's culture and everything else. Yeah.
Wow.
So that almost brought me into it. I heard about that. I'm like, that doesn't. It is funny,
Interesting.
but yeah.
Huh.
I know. I've seen like screenshots of like the Twitter trolls. Some of them are funny.
Oh, people are so creative.
There are some people who are very, very creative.
Very creative.
I know, like, if you get, like, a certain number of reactions, like, some people do that as a living, because if you get a certain number of reactions on Twitter, you get paid for it.
Yeah.
So if you go viral enough, but yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
what
true.
the number is. I heard what the number is before. I think it's, like, 70 or 80,000 reactions, I think.
That's not even that many.
I don't think you
In
get
the
paid,
grand
but
scheme of
so
things.
much. I think it's, like, a couple cents or something like that, but, like,
Oh.
usually I feel like if you're getting that much, it's kind of still, it has more, like, ability to grow, I guess.
Yeah, just keep consistent with your stuff and
Yeah.
yeah, I think the quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger is something
Very
people
important.
people don't follow that one very
A
well.
lot of people are very quick to anger these days. Now, and there is, I mean, we talked about it before. A couple months ago, there is such thing as righteous anger.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like all Christians should be kumbaya.
Right, not bothered by
never
anything.
ask me, flower children kind of things. No, there is such thing as righteous anger. Jesus
Yeah.
flipped tables and was smacking people with a whip because he made the house of God a mockery.
Right. That is true.
But, yeah. But then going along the lines of kind of like how you were saying before, the one who built his house on the rock and the ones who built his house on the sand.
Yeah.
One who listens and does not receive, and one who listens and receives and continues to live it out in his day-to-day life.
Right. That is true.
I feel that the mirror thing is very interesting.
Mirror, let's see.
Looking at yourself in the mirror and then walking away, forget what you look like. The one who listens and does not do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the person
yeah.
who looks in the mirror forgets what they look like.
That quote he said this morning about the devil won't make you hate God, it'll make you forget.
Yes.
That was
That kind of goes
crazy.
along the same lines as this. Yeah, it makes you
does.
forget the word.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes you forget God. Yeah.
that was wild. that had me baffled a little bit.
No, yeah, no, but that's very, very powerful. Yeah.
It was. And it's true. I mean, it's, you take some time away from reading your Bible and praying and everything, and you forget so much.
Yeah.
But you remember.
And it allows you to become weak in some
Yeah.
ways. You're kind of forget you, like slowly, like we try to go into every day putting on the full armor of God, but kind of when we kind of get in that lackadaisical state, kind of like, okay, it's a little heavy. I'm going to take this helmet off. Can't
Yeah.
really look at my phone as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Hold on. I think that might be Rock. It's Rock. Hello, Rock.
How you doing?
Good. We're still recording right now, so you're actually on camera into the microphone, too.
What's up, everybody? It's been a minute. I know. I've been working. Things get busy. Money's been tight. Gotta do what I do.
So, do you want to come by here?
Yeah, I'll just swing by church.
All right.
Cash.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And I'll be right over.
All right, sounds good. See you in a little bit. All right.
See ya.
Peace. Bye. There we go. Rock's
Good.
not gone, everybody.
Good. He's still here. Still with us.
That was fun.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's a pretty good place to
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
close. But that last quote is very, about Satan. I think that's one of the kind of a big takeaway that kind of wraps in all of chapter 1 is like the Satan doesn't make you hate God. Satan makes you forget.
use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it. So you're hanging off a cliff, you wouldn't grab a rope and then throw it down the hole. Or you shouldn't. Some people do. Some people are arrogant. They'll try and find a way to do it their own way.
That's true.
Or it's actually, no, it's probably a bad way to do it. Kind of like you're on a cliff. That's actually a powerful thing now that I think of it. You're on a cliff. You're climbing up. The rock's steady, or the rock is unsteady, and all that. Maybe you're trying to climb up one of those cliffs that go like 90 degrees and only those really expert rock climbers do. It is insane. You could almost call that like those guys are not. That's a bad way to compare it, but think about like how those guys are Jesus. Like it almost seems impossible, but even when Jesus could do it, he could become Spider-Man and just walk up on it on his 2 feet and
True. Defy gravity.
walk up, defy gravity. Because I mean, he was able to withstand all temptation, so he doesn't have to deal with it. But God throws a rope down, like, hey, I know you can't do this journey on your own. Here, take this rope. It's going to be a lot easier. You're going to be with me. You get your way up this wall. You'll be with me forever. And, yeah, we'll be happy. Some people will take that rope, or some people will be like, I'm going to do it my way. They get arrogant. It's like, no, I'm going to live my life my way. I am God in my own eyes. I'm going to climb that 90-degree wall that goes like this once I get up this thing. And then they're trying to get to it. They try to get that first one, and then they fall back down. But that rope is still there that entire time.
Right.
And some people choose to start climbing with the rope. They're like, okay, well, this next couple footholds look easy, so I'm going to do this on my own. You know what? I kind of like this. I'm feeling good. Then we get to a hard part where we may fall or stumble, or we're just there, just holding on. Like, I can't do anything, but that rope's still right there.
True.
And, yeah, that's a powerful thing.
It is.
I thought about that.
It is a
But
good
yeah.
analogy.
Good analogy. I'm going to remember that. Mm-hmm. Save that in my back pocket for something.
Correct.
That kind of reminds me of our Jesus take the wheel thing, but I can't remember what the whole concept
Oh,
was.
I know.
I still can't remember if we said it on camera or if we had that. I don't know if we had that. I feel like we had some of that conversation on camera.
We did.
It's one of the earlier episodes. I'm sure if we kind of skimmed through the beginnings of the early episodes, we could find it.
Yeah, probably.
So I know it was like at the beginning. It was either like right when we were about to film, and then we started filming, talked about it for a little bit, and then went to the lesson.
I think that's exactly what happened, actually.
It's definitely one of those early episodes, like probably in like the first 10.
Yeah, I
I
think
want to
so.
say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yup.
Yep. Well, Nathaniel, do you have any closing thoughts?
I was gonna add in what Jordan said earlier, but I forgot.
To the cliff thing? Or the
No, way before that.
mirror thing?
No, way before that.
Forgetting God?
Way before.
Way before that.
If I already said it, it's okay.
Yeah. I'm sure it's definitely something we went over, but. Yep. Well, everybody, we will, or I won't, she will, he will. You could be guest host next week because I won't be here.
That's true.
But they will be seeing y'all next week. So remember, God loves you. Jesus died for you that you may be forgiven and we can live a great life. That rope's always right there, so make sure to use it. Don't let go.
Period.
See y'all.